Our next writer, his name is Norlyn Dimmit. He is the owner of Connection Realty in Geneva, but his real passion is sparking transpartisan reform, a form of deliberative democracy that will inform, transform, and empower the will of the people so that we can collaboratively create a world that works for everyone. You can visit his blog, Norlyn blog, that's Norlyn, norlynblog.wordpress.com to see more. Norlyn Dimmit, come on up.
I'll just do what you did. On November 21st, 2012, I crafted my first blog entry. This is a modified version of that blog entry entitled Leveraging Compassion to Build a Just and Sustainable Future. My great passion is to help with the immense project of transforming our culture, educationally, spiritually, economically, and politically, for the purpose of creating a more peaceful and just world for current and future generations. My own focus in that gargantuan undertaking is to demonstrate the criticality and assist with the cause of transpartisan political reform, to fully leverage our collective compassion. First, a brief biographical preface. After watching Schindler's List on Easter Sunday, 1995, I had a powerful awakening, and by the following Tuesday, I had resigned a high-paying position as the head of product development at Zurich Life. I decided to return to graduate school to study the problem of inner-city poverty and violence, with the goal of having a material impact on reducing unnecessary suffering. By American standards, I grew up in extreme violence and poverty, so I have always understood how vital it is to have a social safety net. Much of our food came from the monthly handouts from the USDA truck that came around to give us bags of flour, cornmeal, rolled oats, powdered milk, cheese, canned meat, and other commodities. My best meal of the day was often my free school lunch. So what does politics have to do with poverty? The vast majority of those who currently live in poverty in the richest country on earth do not have much of a political voice. But for those who stand up for them, the poor would have almost no voice at all. Yet as many Republicans have reasonably proclaimed, the war on poverty has been suboptimal, to say the least, and I will argue that this is because progressives assume that they are the only ones who care about the poor. Progressives often demonize many on the right who do in fact care, but believe that the current welfare state is ill-conceived and unsustainable. My argument is that both sides need to come together in a genuinely transpartisan way so that their different emphasis and combined wisdom is synergistic rather than destructive. I may never convince my libertarian friends that it is ever justifiable to take their money via taxation for the purpose of ensuring that there is a social safety net for those who truly cannot take care of themselves. But I will repeat the brief argument here that I've made to them over the years. First, taxing those who have to help those who do not can be intellectually justified as nothing more than extracting for the poor their share of the dividends from centuries of prior technological advance. As a society, I believe that we have structured intellectual property laws and other entrepreneurial incentives such that the creators profit not only from their own creativity, which seems reasonable, but disproportionately from the past scientific and technological heritage, which is arguably our common inheritance and which should perhaps be shared more equally by all of Earth's citizens. This is not a new idea. Edward Bellamy made this argument powerfully in his utopian novel, Looking Backward, in 1887. Secondly, because we are all selfish to varying degrees, our limited compassion is far less effective when we are asked to contribute individually to the eradication of poverty. Psychologists and economists both understand that when contributions are matched, that they increase. And when they are matched millions of times via our collective social contract to take care of those unable to take care of themselves, we are willing to contribute far more than we otherwise would. Politics, when transacted through civil dialogue, where all perspectives are given representative voice, is surely the best cultural mechanism whereby we can collectively assent to public policies that we want to see and all be reasonably assured that we are all paying our fair share, which fair share also needs to be democratically determined. In any other mechanism, the collection basket comes up woefully short. In summary, our collective compassion is most fully leveraged when we collaborate politically. It is my personal belief that we can and should teach compassion, that we can and should apply entrepreneurial energies to the problem of creating a just and sustainable future, as so many social entrepreneurs are already doing, that we can and should aspire to a cultural ethos that rises above Abraham Maslow's lowest rungs, that is, to an ethos that diminishes the importance of consumption and elevates the importance of compassion. And finally, that we can and should, through ecumenical dialogue, find the common ground that unites us, love and compassion being a large part of that common ground. But however much progress we can make in these other realms of cultural evolution, it will be in the realm of the political, in the revision of our social contract based on a transpartisan vision of collaborating for the common good, that we will be able to maximally leverage our collective compassion for the benefit of current and future generations. That, at least, is my argument. I hope that it motivates others who want to contribute to a more just and sustainable future to join in the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Norlyn.